So after the kernel upgrade yesterday, then we have that one small topics like, so that is called the types of RFC, right? Types of RFC. So anyone knows types of RFC here? Types of RFCs.
Synchronous, asynchronous.
Right, right. So these are the
Synchronous.
types of RFCs. So, but last time we discussed about the RFC connection types. So how many types of RFC connection types? RFC connection types. So if you go to the SM59, we go to the SM59, there we can see the, so all those things, right? We go to the SM59, here we can see the, so RFC connection types, right? Above to above connections, right? So, and external connections, internal connections, above connections, TCP/IP connection, program connections, and everything, right? These are the connection types. These are the connection types. These are the just connection types. But types of RFCs, types of RFCs means we have the 4 types of RFCs are there here. One is the synchronous RFC. One is the synchronous RFC. So synchronous RFC. And the second one is the asynchronous RFC, async, right? The third one is the, so transactional RFC, right? So transactional RFC, transactional RFC. So then fourth one is the qRFC. So queued RFC. So these are the, so types of RFC connections we have, right? So what do you mean? Normally RFC means the remote function call to connect to the remote systems. Either way, 2 ways we can connect it, right? Either way, so we can call using the we can call the interface for above program. Through above program we can call it, or through non-above programs also we can call it, right? Through above programs. So like one system to another system we can call it. So either the normal connectivity we can do, both are in the above system, either above program. Using the programs also we can call them, or so non-SAP programs also we can call them, right? So any above program you are calling to the destination, then that is called, that function will call the internal one remote function, it will call it. Suppose if you see in the SAP system, when you go to the SAP systems, so here when you go to, this does not require the any above program. So only TCP/IP is required to call the TCP/IP is required to call the, so programs. So when you click on the connection button, so here it will call the, so connection test. It will call the programs. Suppose it will remote desktop connection, SAP GUI connections. In that case, SAP, so GUI RFC connection should be working. It should be work it out here. So some MDX parser. So some program should be, so should be called here. It is calling the some program here. So it is calling to the program above internal programs. It is calling to the program here, right? So this is calling here. So normally RFC connection means, if you see here, so this is our R3 system. R3 system has, R3 means our ECC system. It has many integrations. So this system will connect to the, one BW system. So in many integrations, not only one, it is connected to the many BW. It will connect to the BW system, some other CRM system, some other SCM system, SRM system, it will connect it, right? So it is connecting means because of the, through RFC destination only it is connecting. Through RFC destination only it will connecting to the one system. So number of systems it is connecting. And this system to vice versa, the communication will happen, right? So number of systems, number of integrations are available for the ECC, right? Vice versa, it will connect it. So ECC to, so 2 and 4 ECC to here, Suppose like this is the SCM system. Suppose example, this is the SCM, right? This is the CRM systems. So this is the BW systems. So like that, so if you define, you can define the RFC connection. You can connect from ECC to BW, BW to CRM, CRM to again ECC, SCM. Sir, why we have to connect all these systems? So the data exchange between the systems, the calling the, so the data exchange between the systems. If you want to exchange the between the data between the systems, you have to, so we have to create the destination, the connection, the communication between systems. We have to define it. So this is the calling system. This is the called system. So when it goes to the here, this is the called system. This is the calling system. Like that, there is a differentiation, right? Calling and to called system. While communication, while communicating each and every system, it will use the SIPIC protocol to transfer the data between two systems. So in the RFC destinations, it will use the SIPIC protocol. There is a SAP standard protocol that is called the SIPIC protocol. SIPIC protocol. SIPIC means communication programming interface for communication, right? So that is the abbreviation for the SIPIC protocol. So let me write it here. Okay. So communication, sorry, common programming, common programming. So interface for communication, common program interface for communication. So this is called the SIPIC protocol. It will use it. So when any RFC destination from any system to any system communication, internally there is a one protocol. That protocol is called the SIPIC communication, common program interface for communication. It will use the SIPIC protocol. So this is the connection. It will any client to any client. Within the system, any client to any client, one client to other client also, you can deploy it, right? So this is the, so this is the communication. It will happen through RFC destinations. So while communicating here, we have the types of RFCs which we are going to discuss about. The first one is the synchronous RFC. So what does it mean by synchronous RFC, right? So when you are defining the synchronous RFC here, the both the systems, when you are sending to the ECC to BW, the required to synchronous RFC. So let's talk about the synchronous RFC now. Okay, synchronous RFC means we will call it as the synchronous RFC. Synchronous RFC means, so here, what does it mean by synchronous RFC? Requires both the systems, either the client and server, both are available at the same time, or for communication purpose, or for transferring the data. For transferring the data, we need both the systems should be available at the same time. So why? Because so your ECC will send the request to the your CRM system, right? So some other systems, immediately the CRM will send the acknowledgement back to the your ECC system. Will send the acknowledgement back to the ECC system saying that I have received your transaction. Please go ahead and send the one more transaction. Something like that, it will send the acknowledgement. This is called the synchronous RFC. So the communication between the both the systems, there is a acknowledgements are required here. So the resources of the source system will wait the target system that deliver the message or data with acknowledgement. Then in this way, the data is consistency. Here, the problem is here, when the target system is not available, the source system wait until target system is available. Then this may, sometimes it may lead to the work process go to the private mode, not sleep mode, and something like that, right? So normally we can see this one. Normally in the SAP system, we can see this type of communication methods in the system, right? So this is the one, right? So here the way, what is the thing is, when you are doing the synchronous method, so this ECC will send the response to your ECRM system. The CRM will give the acknowledgement back to the ECC. Normally, if you observe it or not, in our old mobiles, we have the message delivered option, right? If you observe it or not. So whenever you send any message to the your respective partner means your respective system. Respective system means your respective friend, right? In your mobile, if you send the message to your friend, so immediately as soon as your friend received, you will get the acknowledgement, right? Message has been delivered, something like that pop up. I think we can see in the old small, not the smartphone. I think smartphone I never checked. I think old phone we have these options, right? Anyone have? I think you guys have experience, right? So once your friend received the first message, then you will send the second message, right? So it means synchronous mechanism, which means so this way data is inconsistent and you can transfer the otherwise we can transfer the data from ECC to CRM. We can transfer the data, right? That is called a synchronous mechanism. Got it? Any questions here? Any concerns? Any questions? Any doubts?
Yeah,
Here,
one small doubt.
yes.
Synchronous RFC, that we can say IDOCs are example of synchronous RFC.
Right. I will come to that part only. Why? Because we can see some transactional RFCs, right? We have the RFCs, right? Synchronous RFC means, yeah, it kind of some IDOCs. So one first IDOC sent to the target system, then it will wait for the whether the IDOC received, then only it will process the another one, another IDOC, something like that, right? So we have the so in the system, maybe we can take the example of the IDOCs also. Yes, right. Okay. So the asynchronous IDOC, asynchronous mechanism. Asynchronous mechanism means so here asynchronous mechanism means here. So here the communication between two systems, it's normal. There is no acknowledgements are not required. So which means you can send the data to here. So then the secondary is received or not, you don't bother. You keep on sending the data to the here. So secondary it won't bother, right? So that is called the so asynchronous mechanism, which means it's opposite to the synchronous. That's why asynchronous mechanism. So acknowledgement is not required here. So here acknowledgement is not required here. So it does not require both the systems to be available at the same execution results and immediately. So it does not require send to the acknowledgement back to the so your primary system means your ECC system. So you keep on sending the data. The ECC does not bother whether the data is received by the CRM systems or not. It does not bother. Why? Because CRM does not sending any acknowledgement back to the ECC systems. So this is the one method here. So that is the asynchronous. Same opposite to the your synchronous, right? Same opposite to the your synchronous method, right? So here in the synchronous method, acknowledgement is required. So both the systems should be available at the same time. Both the systems or both the clients should be available. So then only it will send the data to the target systems. So otherwise, so it will wait for the your acknowledgement from the primary your CRM system, the secondary system, then only it will send the some more data to the your secondary from primary, right? So asynchronous means it does not bother. Does not bother means it will keep on sending the data. It does not send any data, any response to the your EC system, whether received or not. That is called the asynchronous mechanism. So transactional means here this normally this we will use it and we can see in a transactional RFCs. So transactional RFCs means so the it's kind of like asynchronous communication method only, but here the data will send to the ECC to BW or ECC to SMT. There is a one transaction ID will be assigned to the your CRM system or your SCM systems. When sending the data from here to here, it will assign the one transaction ID. One transactional ID, it will assign to the your data. One call, it will assign the one transaction to the here. So if the so that data cannot be sent, same data cannot be sent multiple times to the target system because of the it is assigning the one transactional ID. So transactional RFC is an like same asynchronous RFC only, but the thing is here when sending the data to your target system, remote system, so it will assign the one transaction here. So it's not required remote system should be available in the same time. So even though the remote system is down, the transactions get stuck in the ECC system. That is called the transaction that will be stuck in the here. So this way the data is stuck with the transactional ID. So then again, whenever the CRM system is available, it will keep on sending the data to the your CRM system. So that is called the transactional ID. It will assign the one PID to the respective systems. Suppose here the transactional ID, we can observe it in SM58. SM58 is the transaction. So transaction code there. So we can see the all the transaction IDs and everything we can observe it here in the SM58 is the transaction code. There we can check the all those things here. So if we go to the SM58, so here all the transactions get stuck here. All the transactions get stuck here. In our case, we don't have any transactions, failed transactions. So that is the reason we are here nothing is there here. If any transaction gets stuck here, you will see the what is the RFC destination it is pointing, and also what is the connection ID, what is the transaction ID, what is the user, what is the function it is calling. All the information will be tracked here. All the information will be recorded in the screen. So let me check here whether here also we have anything stuck here or not. So go to SM58. Maybe you can remove the dates, transactional RFCs. Normally day to day here we have to come and see the here we have to come and see the transactions, any data stuck or not as part of the daily monitoring. So we have to come to the SM58 is the transaction to check the transactional RFCs. So we need to check if any data stuck, we need to report that one. Otherwise, so you are cool, you are green, right? This is the transactional RFC. The transactions will be stuck here. So even though the secondary is not available, when you are sending the data to the CRM system, the CRM data down also, it will pile up it will store all the data in the SM58. It will assign the one transactional RFC. One transactional IDs it will assign to the here. So it kind of asynchronous mechanism. Why? Because if it is synchronous, what will happen? So it will not send you some more data to the why? Because it will wait for the acknowledgement from the primary. But here this kind of synchronous mechanism, which means even your secondary is down, your CRM system is down, it will keep on sending the data, but the data which will assign to the one transactional ID, it will assign it, then it will, so that the data will not be the mismatch in the when it is going to the target system, here. So that is what we have the transactional RFCs here, right? So the next one is the qRFC. The qRFC is normally the qRFC is the extension of the transactional RFCs. So it kind of extension of the transactional RFCs, the qRFC. Q's wise, right? qRFC, which means the qRFC means it also that means the individually it will send the data to individually sequence wise, one order wise, it will send the data to the your respective system. It will send the data to the respective system. Sequence wise, serialized queues we have, inbound queues and outbound queues. So individually it will send the data to the your respective systems, right? So individually queues wise it will send the data to the your respective systems. So which means here there is in the qRFC you will get the two transactions. One is the SMQ1 and SMQ2. These are the qRFC, right? qRFC means queues. We go to the SMQ1. It's kind of outbound queues, out of the systems, right? your system out of the system. Any queues are stuck or not, it will display the data here. Here nothing is there here, right? Then second one is the SMQ2, inbound queues, which is coming inside of the your system. That is called the inbound queues and outbound queues. Suppose, so you have, suppose if you see here, so you have the ECC system, right? You have the ECC systems here. You have the ECC and you have the BW systems here, right? The data, it will go to the target system in the form of the queues wise, on order wise, it will go to the here. So this is called the out. It is going out, which means outbound queues. This is called the outbound. This is called. Again, the data is coming inside of the your system again, from other system to here. It will come inside of the system then. So then this is called the inbound. This is called the inbound queues. Inbound and outbound queues. In, which is coming inside of the system, right? Sometimes data will come inside of the system. Sometimes data go out of the system, which means this is the outbound queues. But when it comes to the here, this is the inbound for that system. And when it is going here, when it is going out, right? As I mentioned here, this is going out to the systems, right? Then that is called the outbound queues. That is called the outbound queues. So this is called the outbound queues, inbound and outbound. So here, sometimes data will come to the here, then here some records or some adjustments happen, then it will go outside, then that is the, so that will happen here. That will happen. The data exchange between system will happen through RFC destinations here. So that is called the inbound and outbound connections here. So here you can monitor it. All the connections you can monitor it here. SMQ1 and SMQ2 are the transaction codes here. You can monitor the data here. So whether you have the inbound connections are there or not, you can monitor the all the data here. You can monitor the data here. This is the inbound and outbound connections. We can monitor it here. All right. So this is the main thing here you need to remember. Right. So this is about the types of RFC connection. The queued RFCs, you have the SMQ1 and queues. So to create the queues, what we have to do here, you need to define the queues here, SMQR. So the queue registrations, you need to register the queues here. If you go to the here, it will ask the queues here. So queue in scheduler, SMQR. QR means queue in scheduler. So what type of queues you have to create it? Suppose if I create the XB star, which means the BW related queues. Suppose if I create some other queues, so like that I can create the new queues. I can create it here. So new queues I can create. I mentioned the star means it's all, so there is no data. If I mention the XB star means so only XB, suppose like BW related, suppose XC CRM related. So maybe I will mention like my data will comes in the format BW related. So my CRM related. So like that I created the queues in the system here. I created the queues in the system here, which means through these queues, data will comes into the your systems. Queue wise, it will come to the here in the systems. And also, if you see SMQS, it's called the queue out scheduler. Queue out scheduler. It means which is going out of the systems. Which is going out of the systems. Out of the systems means here it's required the RFC destinations are required here, right? RFC destinations are required here. Through RFC destinations are required, which is going out of the systems. Suppose like ECC to NWD, so NWD system. Then one more RFC connection is created. Suppose we have the ECC and NetWeaver systems. You want to send the data to the NWD, queue out scheduler, the queues you have to define here, so that through these queues, the data will be moved to the your respective systems. It will be moved. So here you can see R means registered. So U means something like it's not registered here. U means it's not registered. So we need to select that one. We need to select this one. Select this point, click on the register button, then it will come to the R. So sometimes during the activities, we need to stop the communication between external systems in order to avoid the data coming inside of the system. So then we need to stop it. Then in this case, select all the systems, then so unregistered, deregistration, so that all will go to the deregistrations here. So select all, then again registration, all will come to the R here, which means registration, deregistration and queues registration, which means the data will come to the system in the form of the queues here. Normally, when you go to the offside or when you go to the factory, so one unit persons are in the one side, second unit. When you're going the drill ground, normally in the schooling hours, we see, right? In the schooling hours, when you are in the school, when you are in the prayer, the first class students are in the one line, second class, third class, go on up to 10th class students are in the 10 lines. So we are in the queues, right? So same as like, so we are in the only one system, we are in the queues, right? Same as like here, the queues wise data will go to the your target system, serial wise, order wise, the sequence wise, it will go to the your respective systems, it will go here, right? So normally the queues we have to define in SMQ1 and SMQ2. The related data we can check whether the data is stuck or not. So or not, we can check in the SMQ1 is for the queue outbound scheduler. Then SMQ2 is for the inbound scheduler. SMQ2 is for the inbound scheduler. We can monitor it here. Something queues got stuck. Here we can monitor it. Here we can monitor it here. Right? So this is about the SMQ1, Q2, QR, QS. These are the three transaction codes will comes here. SMQ1, QS, and SMQ1, SMQ2, and also SM58 is the transaction code to monitor the transactional RFCs. Transactional RFCs we can monitor it here. SM58 is the transaction code here, right? So this is the transaction code here, right? So this is the types of RFC connections, and queues and transactional RFCs we can monitor it in the systems. Like this is the SM58, this is the SMQ1 and Q2, we can monitor it. Where we can create the queues means here we can create the queues here. Here we can create the queues here. So here we can create the queues here, right? This is about the types of connections, types of RFC connections we can create it here, right? So any questions from anyone?
In real time, which will be used more, synchronous or asynchronous? Or in
Synchronous
which scenario we will be using?
synchronous only we will use more. Why? Because to transferring data from, so suppose you are doing the client copy, you are doing the client copy from here to here, right? So from one system to another system, you are doing the client copy. So synchronous means what? Serially, it will send the data to your target systems. Then target system is available, then it is receiving, then only it will send the one more data to here, one more table data to continuously the data is going to the here. Suppose your target system is not available, maybe asynchronous mode. Then what does it mean? Then client copy client copy is failing, right? So for example, client copies for transferring the data. So maybe transferring the data, you will get idea, right? Client copy. So when you are transferring the data from source to target, the target should be always available. Then it always should receive the data. Then only it will keep on sending the data from here to here. Something wrong with your target system, immediately the client copy will fail. Why? Because the synchronous RFC, it always receive the acknowledgement. So always it will receive the acknowledgement. That's the synchronous RFC. Asynchronous means it does not bother about the target is not available or not. It will keep on sending the data. In this way, we have some data loss activities and data mismatch activities and everything. So rare cases, asynchronous RFCs may use it. So, but transactional RFC in SM58 is kind of same. Target system should not be available, but the data should be available in the SM58. We can see sometimes we can see the many entries stuck in the SM58 because of the target system unavailability. Even though target system is unavailable, the data will be reached in the queues. Queues it is available. So at the stage of out, it is available. All the data will stuck here, so that whenever the target system is available, the data will flow to the from here to here. Data will flow. Right? So that is the transactional RFC. Transactions will be assigned here. Then queues RFC. The queues wise also it will send the data to the here.
Okay.
How can clear those waiting status queues? Like by reprocessing or else how?
How to?
How can we clear the waiting queues?
Maybe what we can just reprocess it. Maybe there is if you go to the SM58 or somewhere, maybe you have the options, right? You will get the options actually. Re-execute LUWs or something like that. Re-execute 1W or re-execute LUW, or if you see the reset status, so then the status will be reset. It will be the transactions will be recorded, executing something like that. The status will be changed here. So here we can change the status here. Re-execute LUWs means all will be re-executed. If you just execute, one will be, so you have to select one, then you need to re-execute that one. So if you just check whether the queues or anything is available or not, it will check it out here. Here you have the option in SM58. The data is stuck in the SMQ1 also. If you go to the SMQ1, the data is stuck here. So with the queues, select, double click on the queues, then you can go to the here the data. If you go select this system, then here it will say what is the error status. It is waiting. Maybe we can reset something like that. We may get the options. Here nothing is there, so we are not getting anything here.
Okay, does we can
Now let's start with the one more small topic, the Scot transaction code, right? Scot and SOST. Scot and SOST and SBWP, right? SBWP, SOIN. So these are the transaction codes. So what are these transaction codes here? Scot. So everybody knows what is meant by Scot here. So to send some data to your email addresses from system as soon as, so you need Scot transactions should be available here. If you go to Scot, the email configurations, like kind of nodes we have to enable it here. So to send the data, suppose as soon as your data, your job is completed, your order is completed, as soon as your payment is done, immediately the prospective person should receive the payment slip from to his email IDs, right? So that type of configurations where we have to do the email configurations, like, so the Scot configurations, the mailbox configurations where we have to do here. So the Scot is the transaction code here. The Scot is the transaction code here. In the Scot transaction code, we have to enable it here. The Scot transaction code, we have to enable it here. If we go to our system, go to the Scot transaction code here. The Scot transaction code, we have to enable that mailbox server and everything here. Here nothing is there. Then go ahead and add the entry here. You can create the entry here. You can create the entry here. So go to the here. We can create the node. We can create it here. Node. We can create it here. Node means one SMTP node should be activated here. So what is that node here? SM. So TP node should be activated here. This is for the mailbox server. So normally when should be active here? Every 5 minutes you should send the data to the here. What is the mailbox server here? Here we have to provide the actual mailbox server name here, right? So which means, so it's a one-time configuration in the organization. The mailbox SMTP, the Scot node enabling. So here mailbox server, we don't have anything, right? We will put some dummy one, right? So maybe google.smtp.com. So one standard normal one thing I put out here. Port maybe 25. The common mailbox port is the 25 is the port here. We can set that one. Here you can show fax. You want to send the fax email address or what email address you want to send it. If you put star, it will send to all the recipient email address, either at the rate of gmail.com, at the rate of outlook.com, at the rate of mycompany.com, all. You don't want to send to the all, you want to send to the only respective persons. Then star dot, so at the rate of gmail.com, something like that, you can mention it here. For now, I am mentioning the star here, right? Just click on the OK button. So this is the Scot configurations which we are doing here. And also you are not only sending the So internet email address, suppose you want to send to the fax also, then in this case put the star. Star means all, right? Then you are giving here. So when you are sending here, you are giving to the here, right? You put pager, SMSs, maybe you can send this one also. So that just click on the OK button, then your Scot configuration is done here. Right, Scot configuration is done. Fax and internet email address configuration is done here. Right, you have done it here. Go to the settings here. So here the main is mailbox configurations you have to done. Outbound, which are going out of the systems here. Here domain name you have to set it out. What is the company domain name? So maybe something like mycompany.com, something like that. You have the domain name, right? You can put the domain name here, then save it here. So save it here. So that is the outbound, right? Send jobs. When you come to the send jobs here, maybe as soon as email is generated, who will send? There is a one job, right? One job you have to create it. That is called the SAP Connect job. The Scot configuration is for the mailbox configuration, sending the mail to their respective target servers. That's one. Here you need to enable the SMTP node. You have to enable it, and also you need to define the domain and everything. And also you need to one job should be enabled here. That is called the SAP Connect job. You have to enable it to send the mails and everything here. So that's why you are creating the jobs here. Just to go ahead and end here. So what type of job, what type of emails it will send it to the all address types. Then you can create it. At what time it should run it. So you want to start immediately. You want to run, maybe you want to schedule it. So you can schedule the groups here, so that the job will be scheduled here. The job is scheduled every 10 minutes once. The job is scheduled here. So which means within this 10 minutes, any emails are generated, it will send that emails to the respective recipients. It will send the emails to the respective systems. It will send the email IDs. So this is the Scot configurations. It will send the data. It will perform the data here. Here, the node should be active here, right? The node should be active here. Then the node should be active here. Then we can send the data to the respective recipient systems. We can send the data here. So the data and all the configuration part we have to do in the Scot configurations. Scot configurations here. All the data we have to send the data. We have to send to the your Scot configurations. So I put every 5 minutes here. So which means every 5 minutes the SAP Connect job will send the email IDs. So where can we monitor these configurations, whether the emails are flowing or not? If you go to the SOST, here we can see the maybe transmitted. If you see the any messages are failed here, we can see the data here, right? Here we can see the data here. If the messages are getting failed, the mails are getting failed, here it will be stick the data here. Maybe if you want, we can send the one sample mail also. If you go to the SAP SBWP SAP business workspace, if you go to the business workspace here, so here we need to, in the business workspace here, we have to create the, one email. This is your business workspace here. So here, this is the, you can send the new messages to them, and also calendars, distribution list, everything you can send. Suppose you want to send the new message to your friend, all right, your recipient's email ID. Then that time, just click on the new message here. Then you will get the option here. Means not only outbox, from here also we can send the message to the your respective friend, your respective, just we can test it in the business workspace. We can test it whether you are sending the mails or not. We can test it in the systems. Right? Just click on the new message here. Then here, what is the title of the mail here? Suppose like, so PO sent, something like that. Some text you can write it here, PO order. So maybe who is the recipient here? Maybe I will put like SAP, maybe some gmail.com I'm putting here, right? What type of email? That is the internet email address, right? Internet email address. Then I selected all these things here. Then click on the send button. Click on the send button so that that message will go to the this recipients. The document will attach. If you have any attachments, you can attach that attachments also. Then you can send to the that persons. So here normally this is the manually creating the document and sending here. This is the manually creating and sending the documents here. So here sometimes you may receive the things from the other systems to here. Then that time, so you will see the what is the documents, messages, inbox, outbox, everything you can monitor from here. Everything you can monitor it from here. If you go to SOST transaction code here, your message will stuck here. See here, you have the one message here, which is in the scheduled status. It's not dispatched. Why? Because the data will send every 10 minutes once. Then select this button, then you have the send, repeat send. It's already in the queue. We can send it out. Instead of waiting the job, now we can manually also send it here so that it will it will give the results here. Still it is waiting to be sent here. So but the recipient's email ID should be exist here, right? Then only it will go to the here. Something wrong here. If you go to the here, message will be sent after 322. So 98322. So not now, right? So maybe it's a different, the timelines it's set here. We want send immediately, we can send immediately also, we can send it from here. So but immediately nothing is sending. Why? Because here nothing is sending here. Why? Because we have scheduled the job, so here nothing is sending here. So that all the messages, whatever the messages which are going outside of the system mails. Why? Because some people, some functional people, something, as soon as this PO is approved, that the sales order is approved, they book the transaction immediately. They have to get the email with the detachments or slips or everything, right? So that those things we can monitor from SOST. We can send it out from here, right? So, but to go this outside of the SAP in the Scot configuration, your email ID is in the Scot configurations. Your mailbox should be exist. Your mailbox should be exist here. Your mailbox should be exist here. Then only it will send the mailbox server should be correct. The port number should be correct, and also all should be correct. Then only the data will be sent to the your respective system. And also if you go to the SMICM transaction code, here you see the your service, SMTP service should be active here. Here nothing is active here. Definitely it may fail it in the system. Definitely it may fail it here, right? Definitely it may fail it here. So this is the Scot transaction code. Here all the mailbox configurations, everything we have to perform it here. Mailbox configuration, everything we have to perform it in the systems. Here if you go SM37, there is a SAP Connect job which we created, right? Which we created this job. So this job will send the what are the messages, mails are stuck in the your SOST. It will send the mails to that particular. So email address, it will send it. Now I released it. One manually I scheduled it here. Manually I scheduled here. But this will run at 626. 626 it will schedule it here, not the immediately. Maybe I may repeat the scheduling here immediately, which means it will send the it will reach scheduled. I think it's executed, I guess, right? So maybe you can go ahead and SOST, you can see the status, but it may fail it. Why? Because it may fail it. Why? Because we don't have this email address and that mailbox configuration also wrong. So it all the messages, everything will be filed up here. It will be sent failed here, right? So this is what will happen in the systems. So this is where we can monitor it. So suppose if in a real-time systems also, if you observe it, many documents will go from here to there. It will go there. You can check it out. What is the documents which are going outside of the system? What is the recipient's email address and everything you can monitor from there, right? So this is the Scot and SOST, SOST for monitoring. So monitoring the outbound emails and everything. So Scot is for the mailbox configurations. SBWP is the business workspace, SAP business workspace. With each and every person, there is a separate inbox, outbox is there. There you can monitor it. And SOIN is for the inbound connection, inbound request, which is coming to you, to inside of the SAP system. It is which SOST is for the outgoing. SOST is for outgoing. So SOIN is for the inbound, right? Inbound and outbound. So those are the differences, right? SOST, outbound email which are going from SAP. SOIN is for the inbound to SAP, which is coming inside of the SAP system. Okay. So this transaction codes, you can practice it. Tomorrow we'll discuss about the note implementations and plugins, interventions and everything. Okay. That's it for that today. Any questions from anyone?